This video is about how to min-max the Tremere. And I'm showing you how to start the Tremere. And the first thing you go into is thaumaturgy. In other videos I explain why you stack points to the right as far as possible. This is your mage class, and what I want to talk about is the different disciplines that you have. Blood Strike returns blood if you allow the animation to take place and the blood to come back to you, and you do not kill the target. So notice how I was able to kill that target with the last hit, but I didn't get blood back. This is Thaumaturgy 1. And I wanted you to see that you can also stack damage, but you're not going to get any blood back if you do that. 1, 2. Now I'll get blood back with the second one, but not the first one if the target continues to live. Okay, so I got blood back, and I can do damage and kill the target without spending any blood. So there's 2, and I got blood back for both of those, and then a shot. If I killed him with Blood Strike, I would not have gotten blood back for the last strike on the target. So Blood Strike returns blood if and only if the target lives. And if you stack them, you will only get blood for the last one. Blood Purge is really cool. It does damage pretty much to everybody, and it kind of locks them in place, but you don't get any blood back. And it kind of has limited range. So the third level is Blood Shield. That's a really good discipline, but let's go on to Blood Theft. Blood Theft returns a lot of blood, but only if the target dies. If the target lives, you don't get any blood. So it's just the reverse of Blood Strike. And there's a cooldown on it as well, and you have a hand animation. This clan has a lot of disciplines, and if you're going to play this, you have to play it like a mage with a bunch of spells, where you're rotating disciplines based on the situation to minimize the amount of blood that you get and the amount of blood that you're spending. You can go through the entire game and never use a blood pack as this clan. However, for 10 out of 10 fun, I recommend you use blood packs and just take out enemies with really fun things. And here's a perfect example. Blood Boil is great fun. It does AoE damage, and it's just very entertaining, but it uses a lot of blood, and it's worth using blood packs just to enjoy yourself with Blood Boil. Now what I want to do is get a bunch of these together and use Blood Boil. Now normally Blood Boil lifts targets up in the air, but these guys, it just blows them to pieces. Dominate is interesting because Dominate 3 in the basic patch is really good. It's self-deletion. You can walk through 90% of the game just hitting everybody with that discipline. Probably you will not get Dominate 4 and 5 until the end game. This is Possession. Possession is really good, but what I want to show you here is some enemies can resist Possession. There's like a percentage chance. You can sometimes possess even low-level vampires, but Possession is not a given. You might or might not get Possession. They might resist. This is level 5 Dominate. I had to let it charge up. Now you have to have a line of sight with this one, but it does take enemies out in a very large area. So I'm going to show you sleep, which is now the default. Now you can shoot this guy, and if you do 1 point of damage, you will kill him. So blood strike, or really pretty much any damage, a 38 will take that guy out. So look at the range of Dominate 5. Pretty good. So pretty much roomfuls of humans easily taken out with Dominate 5. But you really don't need Dominate 5 until the end game. This is not in-game footage. This is something I did just to make this video. So I'm showing you that if you put someone to sleep, you can just shoot them with anything and you'll take them out. Auspex. You can also play the entire game with just Auspex and pretty much crush everything. Auspex is very, very powerful. It's not as much fun as everything else, and of course it doesn't return blood, but it really drives up the amount of damage you do. Like, I'm just tearing these enemies up with Auspex. It used to take 3 shots with a 38. Now it's 1 or 2. The weapon you want to use is you want to use the AUG. With Auspex, the AUG is very overpowered, and if you use the scope, you get bonus damage. So, that's your default weapon. But look how deadly this is. I mean, this is one of my favorite weapons in the game, the Glock. I like the Glock 19 in real life and also in video games. Yeah, just really a lot of damage. So let me show you this location. Again, I didn't do this in the game that I played. I'm showing you this to show you, how these disciplines work in this specific video. There are a bunch of different ways you can do all these quests. There's not one. So I took possession of that guy, and unfortunately he didn't do as well as I had hoped he might do, but what are you going to do? I can take these guys out with Auspex, Blood Theft, Blood Strike, Blood Purge, Dominate 5, Possession. You don't want to hit 2 targets with Possession, because they'll just fight each other. You want to hit 1 target with Possession and the other target with something else. Yeah, I'm just wearing claws because they look cool. And I'm wearing level 1 armor. Just because. Like, I wouldn't wear level 1 armor in the game, and I'd probably have Blood Shield on, but I'm just showing you I'm wearing level 1 armor, Goofy Claws, which is a melee weapon, and this character has 0 melee skill. And look what we can do. I mean, this is a really fun clan to play. And yeah, I recommend in the game that I'm about to post to YouTube, I conserved on blood, but when I thought about it, I would say don't do that. Go ahead and just consume blood packs and have fun and take out enemies. And yeah, spend some money on blood packs. You can play the entire game and not use any blood packs, but it's far more fun just to use Dominate, Thaumaturgy, Auspex. Oh, he took that guy out. Cool. I'm just trying to get him to these two guys to fight. Whoops, I got hit. Now here's something you can do with Possession. I'm trying to get this guy lined up. Possession. And then feed. This is a really easy feed. So this character isn't very strong. I didn't put anything into strength. Very little in Brawl. Brawl helps you feed. But if you take possession of someone, that's an instant feed. They can't resist. So take possession of someone, feed on them. Very, very handy to know if you're very low on Brawl and Strength. Okay, now I should upgrade my armor, and I should upgrade my... I thought I put Blood Shield on, but apparently I didn't. The AUG. This is definitely the weapon. I don't want to create mayhem with Possession. That's very nice. Yeah, you just cut through enemies. And you have great accuracy, great range. Now, Blood Shield takes a lot of damage, and when it takes a certain amount of damage, it goes off. I think I did put on level 4 armor for this fight. And Blood Shield, you're pretty tough. I also recommend in the options menu, make sure you put on auto renewal for discipline, so you don't have to worry with your discipline staying up. And then you hit F8 to turn off your discipline. So Auspex is going to keep running. And here I'm just showing you, you can cut through these. I could use Dominate 5, I could use Blood Boil, I could use... And that's it. You want to rotate through all of your disciplines and do what seems like the most fun. And there I hit F8 and it's off. And here I want to use Possession. And you can hotkey your disciplines and your weapons with the letter K. Okay, that was pretty easy. Yeah, probably should have hit that guy with Possession and then fed on him. But doesn't matter. So, this is how my legit character looks at the end of the game. I did console Charisma to take advantage of the shortcuts. I have a video on that, the 4 shortcuts in the game. 2 of them depend on Charisma levels. Yeah. I spent no XP on Melee or Brawl. And you put everything into these 3 disciplines, you rotate through your disciplines, and you just have a really good time. $7,000. I should have used more blood packs. In my game, this is my game that I just finished. I could have sold that sword. I just wanted to keep it because it's cool. This is not the amount of damage these weapons do because I'm using Auspex when I use weapons, so I'm doing a lot more damage than it shows. So, okay. You want to go into Dexterity first. I went into Perception first to get the Santa Monica 2 bonus XP. Doesn't really matter. Brawl and Dodge. Spread those out only because that's the way you min-max the game. So I'm going to show you, this is the spreadsheet. And I didn't put anything into Strength. There was no reason to. This is a glass cannon build. Dexterity, I put the starting point into Dexterity. I had to spend 8 XP, and then you get an item for level 4. That's plenty. That's all you need. Stamina, I did I had points at the end to dump. The stamina points that you see here are things I dumped XP into at the end of the game when I just didn't have anything else to spend XP on. Charisma, I spent 4 points. Now, I had to have a certain level of charisma to get some persuasion checks that I wanted, so that's why I spent the 4 XP. You get an item. And then the last 2 were end game to get the shortcuts, where you have to have persuasion at a certain level to take the shortcuts. Perception, 2 starting points, and then you have to spend XP for 4 and 5 because you want to max out ranged. Intelligence, yeah, you have to read the books. So, yeah. And you want to get level 4 intelligence before you do the Chang brothers fight in order to get the bonus points in that fight. You get 2 bonus points. So, wits, obviously we want to load that up. The final point of wits is an item you get. Brawl, all of these are free. Starting point, 9 gives you the second. And then there's a book in an apartment. Dodge, start point, and then there's an Ocean House book. You have to spend for XP for 3 and 4, and then there's a book in the Giovanni Mansion. So firearms, that's what we're focusing on. Carlson's apartment is a book. We have to spend XP for the next 2, and then there are 2 books. Romero gives us number 4, and then there's a book for number 5. Nines gives us a point in melee, which we don't need and don't care about, but might as well get it. Security, starting point, we have to spend points for the next 2. Then there's a book, and then Mr. Ox gives us an item. So we get to 5 security. Stealth, there's a book, and then I went ahead and spent 3 XP for stealth, and I was able to stealth through the game without using sleep. I don't think I used sleep one time. Sleep is Dominate 3 in the plus patch. So I don't think I needed it. I don't think I used it. I don't think I cared. I find sleep to be a boring discipline. I wish they would return it back to self-deletion. And I'm saying self-deletion because of YouTube censorship, which is onerous. So I wish it would be reverted back to that. That is a lot more fun. 10 out of 10 fun, basic patch, my favorite discipline, and very boring plus patch. Although sleep does make the stealth quests very easy. Computer, there's a book. You pay for the next 2. Bertram Tung gives you the 4th point, and then there's another book in Hollywood, in the Internet Cafe. Finance, you have to pay for the first 2. Fat Larry gives you the 3rd. Then there's a book, and then Trip gives you the 5th point. Investigation, you don't need it. So if you know where everything is. If you don't, I recommend consoling investigation and perception to 10, and then going through the world and finding out where everything is. That's an easy way. Once you know where everything is, you can just pick it up in, future playthroughs. Scholarship, you stack these points to the right to min-max the character creation sheet. So it's 3, 3, 6. You get the most XP out of this if you do it this way. And then Beckett gives you 4 and 5. So the first thing you want to go into of your disciplines is thaumaturgy, by far the most useful and the most valuable. I go into dominate second, and I really only need auspex for the end game, really. So that's the order that I recommend doing this in. So this is the spreadsheet. This is how it works to min-max your character. I highly recommend going into thaumaturgy first and dominate second. Dominate is not fun until you get to level 4 and 5, but it's very much fun when you get to that level, and you'll want that for the end game against big roomfuls of humans particularly. Possession works on low-level vampires sometimes. They might resist the first one, but you hit them again. It might work. and then they fight for you, and that's very cool. So Auspex is just deadly. It's just uber deadly in the end game, and it's so powerful you could just forget Thaumaturgy and Dementation, go into Auspex and just play the game. But if you want to do that, I recommend you go play a Toreador, which is the gunfighter. This is the mage, and I recommend playing it like a mage. I recommend consuming blood packs to enjoy this character the most. You can play the entire game without using a blood pack, but you won't enjoy that playthrough as much as if you're hitting everybody with blood boil, possession, and all kinds of other disciplines that just torment your enemy. Blood purge. You don't, I would say, min-max the fun level of this character and really enjoy it, and forget about saving money and finishing the game with $7,000 in your pocket. Go ahead and use blood packs and torment your enemies and have fun. Anyway, that's my recommendation. I hope this helps you with your playthrough. Play it like a mage, a glass cannon, and I wish you all the best in your game.